The other question that I have over here is regarding PE Power exam preparation, the 2025 changes, October 2025 changes, whether I should take the exam right away or should I wait until the exam specification gets updated, which is October 1st, 2025, and reschedule my exam. I'm going to answer this question in two steps. Number one, how far along are you with respect to your PE Power exam preparation? If you are more than halfway through your PE Power exam preparation using effective prep resources, hopefully, then I don't think it's a good idea to push your exam out or postpone it, delay it because of these changes. Okay, most of you probably already know that you typically get one attempt per quarter. You actually don't get more than one attempt per quarter. So if you are actively working towards your exam preparation, essentially in Q3, you can get one shot at the exam. Q3 is your July, August, and September. So if you are approaching like 25 to 50% completion of the PE Power coursework or the PE Power exam specification, exam content, then in fact, you should stick with your exam preparation approach, the timeline. The reason is that by August, September, that's when your exam is scheduled for, you will be in a better position to take a stab at the exam. And you will basically be getting two shots at it. One with the current specification that is in effect since practically December 2020, and another with, in case you fail, another in Q4, which is your October, November, and December, and that's when the new specification is coming in. So all else being equal, this is the first approach that you should be taking in terms of your decision-making process, okay? The second angle to consider is the fact that overall, there are not many significant changes. And just in 30 seconds, I can explain you what the changes are. Previously, we used to have engineering economics carry over from FE electrical to PE power. Engineering economics used to be an entire section, and those of you who are preparing for FE electrical already would be aware of it. It's section number 4, if I'm not mistaken, section 4 or section 3 of the FE electrical and computer exam specification. A mid-sized section, about 5 to 8 questions on the exam. The exam has 110 questions. Now, this was redundant in some ways because under PE Power exam specification, they used to have a line item for NGCon. The NCES sample exam for PE Power actually does not contain any engineering economics problem, but in the reference handbook for PE Power, they basically incorporated the same engineering economics, formulas, equations, tables, interest rate, everything from FE electrical over to PE Power. That makes perfect sense, that let's remove engineering economics. The other deletion, major deletion, is reliability engineering. So they've taken reliability engineering away from both the exam specification in the new PE Power exam spec, as well as the reference handbook for PE Power. Now, what it does is that it brings increased focus to all the remaining topics. As far as updates addition to the reference handbook is concerned, they have included Boolean logic gates as part of PE Power. Most of my FE electrical and computer exam preparation students, they are not a big fan of Boolean logic, but the thing is that, or I should say digital systems. But within digital systems, those of you who are preparing or have already taken FE electrical, Boolean logic is actually one of the easier areas of digital systems. So by adding one page of Boolean logic, your AND gate, NOT gate, NOR gate, details around De Morgan, they are basically giving you additional reference material that you can work with on the exam if you want to refer to some of those very fundamental pieces of information, okay? And then obviously codes and standards have been updated. They were very outdated. The codes and standards are now around, for NEC, we basically stepped it up from 2017 to 2020. Same thing for all the other NFPA standards. One edition has been updated. The only code that has not been updated is NESC. It is still 2017. And NESC is actually one of the smaller, in terms of the code, it's actually a huge code, but in terms of sort of its weightage or its presence, it is among the smaller ones on the PE Power exam. If you look at the specific exam, sample exam, I think there is only one question out of the 80 questions. So as far as the level of difficulty is concerned, or how easy the exam is going to be, it's anyone's guess. But if you look at it objectively, what we find is that the changes are less than 5%, okay? Whether you're looking at the exam specification, whether you're looking at the reference handbook. And the entire theme is around making it a little bit more power systems focused, with the removal of engineering economics, with the removal of reliability engineering, and a couple of new topics. Minor references have been made in the specification or in the reference handbook, and they are your ultra capacitors, which are essentially being used for battery storage, for energy storage. They've also included a wording, a line item for PV systems and wind as part of renewable energy systems. Now, in my program, my P-Power program, I have always been very cognizant of the importance of renewable. And whenever we actually go through the codes and standard portion in the on-demand or in the live training, I've always been explaining the relevant codes and standards associated with PV systems. So the changes are minor, but obviously, if you are aiming to take the exam after October 1st, there's no point in you spending time and effort on engineering economics. So you can completely skip NG-Con, right? There's no point in going through the reliability indices, failure rate formulas, definition of MTTR, MTBF, availability, downtime. Completely skip all of that, right? And there is no reason for you to now refer to NEC 2017, for example, when you know that NEC 2020 is going to be in use. So my take on this is that if you are sort of 25 to 50% with your preparation for the P-Power exam and are aiming to take the exam somewhere around August, September, stick with it, give it your best shot and consolidate your knowledge. If you're looking for effective exam prep resources, please visit my website, StudyforFE.com. Check out my study guides on Amazon, my FE resources, my P-Power resources. You'll find them at the top of the list for Amazon, highest rated, highest reviewed. And similarly, as far as the courses are concerned, they're highly reviewed on all platforms. And if you are just getting started or are thinking of picking up pace with your P-Power exam preparation, then it makes sense to sort of give yourself sufficient time to prepare for the exam. Don't rush into taking the exam just because the spec is changing, reference handbook is changing. Because if you think about it from the standpoint of the examiners, and I'm not talking on their behalf, it's just that if you think about it, that what their mandate is sort of to make sure that, you know, engineers who are getting licensed, who are passing these exams, who are going through this process, obviously they have to hold them at a high standard and, you know, test their competency and everything, but at the same time be fair, right? So drastically any type of change should not increase the rate of passing the exam or should not decrease the rate of passing the exam. You still have to recognize that the P-Power exam is a very comprehensive exam. This is the final filter that they're applying before you get licensed. And once you get your PE license, you have so much discretion, you have so much privilege essentially in terms of your design recognition and respect and obviously responsibility. So they've crafted the specifications, they've crafted the exam format, they've crafted the level of difficulty to reflect that. Because, and that's not only for PE Power, that's for all the PE exams. If you keep an eye on some of the forums and, you know, or if you have taken the PE exam previously, you would know that plug and chug is not the name of the game. You actually have to know the concepts inside out. Whether I should take the PE exam before October 1st changes happen, whether I should hold on to my preparation and take the exam later in the year. So it's binary decision essentially. If you're halfway through or you're quarter of the way through your preparation, just take one shot at it in Q3 and hopefully you'll get it done. Otherwise, from 1st of October onwards, you know, it's a new specification, reference handbook, and the reference handbook hasn't gone through major changes, mostly deletions and a couple of formula corrections. And the very last section, protection, which was missing in the previous reference handbooks, is still missing. And right up front, instrument transformers, still missing. So the changes are marginal and you still have to put in the time and effort. And if you're using effective exam prep resources and approaching the exam properly, I have no doubt you're going to get this done. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. On a weekly basis, I'm creating content for FE electrical and PE power exam preparation. I also discuss topics related to electrical engineering with a focus on power systems engineering. If you'd like to learn more about my FE electrical and PE power exam preparation programs, please visit my website, StudyforFE.com.